I'm Arielle Ford, and welcome to Meet the Experts. My very special guest today is Dr. Caroline. She's an internationally recognized psychiatrist, author, and expert on overcoming adversity. Dr. Caroline, thank you so much for being here.
Nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you. So tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm very passionate and very keen to help people live their best lives and overcome their obstacles. So I've been practicing for the last 15 years, helping hundreds of people with different types of problems, like they sometimes have anxiety, depression, challenges in life. I use this analogy or a reference point of saying life is like a pod, your mind is like a pod with a seed in it. Mm-hmm. And in that seed, there's enormous potential. You've got the potential. The pod holds the veneer of emotions, thoughts, limiting beliefs, actions, your own self. And knowing your own self, that potential is within the seed. So when we get to unleash that seed and let it grow and blossom, you have your life being a beautiful tree with beautiful flowers and beautiful fruit. Whereas if we don't, then on the other hand, it can sort of wither and then just live.
So you help us all blossom and grow.
Yes.
That sounds
that's
great.
That's my passion.
Oh.
It's very close to my heart.
Well, and who doesn't need that? I mean, anxiety, stress, fear, it's so common these days. Tell us a little bit about what your mission is.
My mission is to reach out to as many people, to serve, to help, and have the planet living their best life, mm-hmm. serving to give and help others, and leaving the world a better place.
Oh, that's beautiful. Tell us some of the unique things that you do in your work.
It started off with my own personal journey. I had terrible tragedy. I lost my father. That followed by a series of unfortunate events. I had immersed into medical school and a lot of calls and study, and I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I wanted, and I felt I wasn't living. I was just, wasn't living my best life. I was existing. Mm-hmm. I had kids, raising them. Then I went on a journey. I thought there's something more there, and on this journey, I crossed mountains and went across rivers and sat on the seaside, and finally stumbled upon, almost fell to the earth with a big thud. Looked up at the sky and there was a bright star shining. I had this magnificent, beautiful idea. I thought, there are so many lessons life teaches us, and adversity is here to teach, mm-hmm. And be here as a lesson. So in that I learned to be and stay in the moment and experience life just in the moment, to think highest thoughts. There is a concept of what's called eunoia, and that's lifting your thoughts to the highest level, and then to anticipate and plan, and then to radiate, to reach out and help others.
And that spells star.
Yeah.
Right, so you're going to teach us how to star in our own lives.
Yes, that's my vision, to help everyone, to help people be a star. Be you be a star in your own life.
Oh, that's so great. And I know that you've helped so many people. Do you have a story or two you can share about some of your patients?
Oh, I have loads of stories, but one comes to my mind. I had a lady, Sue, who had so many obstacles. She experienced terrible bullying in her work, and she felt very depressed and anxious. She started to blame the environment for what she was going through, which in reality it was a difficult environment. She had grown up with a very controlling, mother, and so she had this experience in her mind, a stained glass through which she viewed the world as also being problematic. And so we started with just letting her, I helped her overcome her obstacle by first helping her load and let out whatever was in her mind. And then we started with the star. The S is for a stay, stay in the moment. So I had her just use things like, say, in this nature. And nature is a beautiful way to stay and be and allow yourself to just be an observer.
So be mindful.
Be mindful in the moment with this. So you could just, with all your senses.
We call that stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is stop and smell the roses, and that's, and in going in detail. So, you smell it, what's the color, what's the texture, and go through, just things like here, the color of the leaf, it's red and
really
green,
pretty, yeah.
and we don't notice that, but when you start looking at it, it stops your thoughts. And there is research behind it. I'm not just making it up.
Right.
There's research, and there's research at Stanford and major robust research techniques where they found people who practiced this. And even through your breath, when you breathe in, count till 10, hold 4, breathe out 10. So do it for about 5 to 10 times. And focus on the breath.
So that sort of stops the monkey mind, all the busyness of the thoughts that are getting in the way of our true happiness.
Yeah, and the key is to practice it every day, at least once in the morning, once at night. So we use the star and say, you're the bright star, you're a shining star, and remember this. And so each morning, each evening, after 6 months, it gets so that the key point there is there's a time lag from starting this to experiencing the change.
Okay, so it's not instant, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But you want to start with being mindful and paying attention and knowing it works. And then what are the other steps?
Yes. So the second part, the T, is think. So we think, and thinking leads to emotions, and that leads to action. So thinking, emotion, and action are triangular. They're connected to each other. Our thinking leads us to feel bad. If we think negative, we feel bad, and then we may avoid or, react. So lifting thinking to the highest level. I asked her, Sue, to think. Her first thought was, those bastards, those assholes, they're just, big jerks, and I can't do anything about it. Let's reshape it. Okay, maybe they're having a bad day, or it's not about me. That tone of voice doesn't mean they hate me. So reshape. Okay, I have the power. All I need is within me now, was her power statement. So that was the stepped up thinking, where with that she was more empowered.
So you could teach her to take the circumstances and reframe it and think about it in a whole new way, so it wasn't negative.
Absolutely.
Oh, good. Okay, and then what was the next step?
The next one was A, STA. A is for anticipation. Anticipation, so change is just like the wind. It just happens. So when we anticipate and plan, we are better prepared. So there was a study by Harvard, a longitudinal study, and they found that for resilience and for quality of life, it was not wealth or education that was requisite. It was anticipation.
So anticipate the good coming towards you.
Yeah.
Great. All right. And then what's the R?
The R is the best part. I love that. It's radiate, like the star, radiate. You are a radiant star. You can reach out and help others. So when you help others, you become abundant, you become full. And also reach out to ask for help when needed.
Oh, that's nice, because so many people are afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
That's great. So if our audience wants to reach you, how do they find you?
I have a website, and it's called www.yourbridgetohappiness.com.
That's great. And I know you've got a book coming out. Tell us about that.
I'm very excited about the book, and this is my giving.
And what kind of a book is it?
Oh, it's a fun fantasy fiction book, and it helps people overcome their obstacles and learn new techniques, which are robust, research-based.
So in a novel form, you're actually giving people transformation.
Yes.
What a great book. I'll look forward to reading that.
Thank you.
Well, we're about to run out of time. I want to thank you so much for being with us today. It was just a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for the good work that you do in the world. I'm sure you're helping thousands of people everywhere.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here.